Hello guys, Voltalon here and welcome to Deck Lab, the series where we lab decks. Today we have a deck that I don't normally tend to play, and that is Maximum. Now I'm not a huge fan of Maximum, but I can understand the appeal of it. And this is one of those decks that can definitely appeal to me as a Maximum deck, and that is Dragon Maximum. Now Dragon Maximum uses the Maximum monster Great Multistrike Dragon Dragias Burst, and it is a very unique Maximum monster in one specific key factor. Now most Maximum decks will be running Maximum monsters that will have a 1 level 10 piece, which is generally the middle piece, and 2 lower level pieces, generally level 4s or level 3s. Dragias Burst, however, is special in that it contains 1 level 10 piece like the rest of them, but also 2 level 7 pieces, which means that all these pieces can be added to your hand by cards such as Phoenix Dragon, and your pieces can be discarded by cards such as Ship of 7 Treasures, which means that Ship is easier to build into this kind of deck than, say, Cyber's Maximum. Now, because of the this trait of Dragias Burst, that means that we are able to run a lot of draw spells very easily, because we have discard targets built into the deck already. So let's talk about the specific contents of the deck. Firstly, 3 Great Multistrike Dragon Dragias Burst, the middle piece. Simple effect. In Maximum mode, the card cannot be destroyed by opposing trap effects. Most Maximums have this. Just like a very standard effect for most of these to have. We'll talk about right effect first, because this is the more simple effect. In Maximum mode, you can discard 3 cards, then the Maximum monster gains 1000 attack, and then also inflicts piercing battle damage, which is a good type of effect for a Maximum to have to be able to close out games. And this more interesting effect, the left effect, is Maximum mode, you can send the top card of the deck to the grave, then this card can make 3 attacks on monsters this turn. But then after the battle phase, during the end phase, you will shuffle the entire Maximum back into your deck. So this is generally used as like a last resort kind of thing. Like if there are multiple big threats on board that you need to kill, you can, as the last resort, use the effect to kill both of them and hope you don't die on the crackback. But it will also be used to close out games, generally in tandem with the piercing effect, but sometimes in specific situations you do not need to get the piercing effect to end the game if your opponent, say, has like 3 face-up monsters with low attack. And in that case, you probably win the game without resorting to using piercing. So that is basically how the deck will flow. Now, you will notice that the right effect generally won't be activatable immediately. Let's say you have 5 cards in hand and one of each of these pieces you Maximum summon, you will only have 2 cards left in hand. So you won't be able to use the piercing effect. So what this means is generally the Maximum isn't completely live on the first time you summon it, but is more live on the second turn onwards, which means that your opponent will have time to play around it and has slightly more time than other Maximums to be able to just like set up their Maximum counter cards, such as like Judgment of the Rising Light, Card Devastation, and whatnot. Now obviously, even if you get to the point where you can use Dragias Burst's full effect, it can do a lot of damage and can easily OTK if your opponent is not careful. So you definitely need to plan around the multi-attack effect when you play against this card. As for other cards in the deck, we have 1 Shock Dragon. This is a wall in the deck, and because we are playing Phoenix Dragon to add back all these pieces, we might as well add additional targets for the card in case we need it, and Shock Dragon is the best supporting dragon in the deck. There is this bad card, you can play this Thrust Bunker, I think? Bunker Strike, I think, yeah, this Piercing Dragon Bunker Strike. I think this card is just not very good. Like, theoretically, this will be interesting in a Maximum deck, since you can filter through your pieces and find what you need. But I think that the defensive wall in Shock Dragon that helps you wall off Gate Order until they find their Card Devastation or Media Charge or Secret Order is still a very handy piece of tech to have. And sometimes Shock Dragon allows you to not need to use the piercing, because it allows you to debuff your opponent's field, and that might let you OTK through just the left effect alone, which is definitely something I've done, and because I'm recording this off order, I know I've done it once for something that I'm recording, that I'm going to have in this video. 1 copy of Dial, we'll explain this later on, but it is also a level 7 target for the Ship with 7 Treasures that we are running 3 copies of. again because we can discard all these maximum pieces and these additional level 7s that we are playing in the deck. Alongside this Ship of 7 Treasures, we also have Necromaid Nana for level 7 synergy. A very interesting card. You can send this card face up from the field to the grave, then place a level 7 monster from your grave to the bottom of the deck and draw 2 cards. This makes you go net neutral in card advantage, similar to Ship of 7 Treasures. You tribute a monster, you send the Necromaid Nana, and then you draw 2 cards, so you go -2 to go +2, similar to Ship of 7 Treasures. We've already talked about the Phoenix Dragon, again very powerful card, especially in this deck. 3 Amazing Dealer, we are playing a maximum strategy, and consistency is very much appreciated. Amazing Dealer has additional synergy with the Necromaid Nana as you can activate Dealer effect, and then tribute the face-up dealer that is vulnerable for the Necromaid Nana, and then draw additional cards. Amazing Dealer can also help send your level 7s to the grave for the Necromaid Nana. 3 copies of Rhythmical Performer, another good tribute target for Necromaid Nana. These 9 targets, the Phoenix Dragon, Amazing Dealer, and Rhythmical Performer, are all just good targets for Necromaid Nana to sack off after you're done with their effect. Performer is specifically here to capitalize off of decks like Gate Order that use a lot of spells to basically net you a free draw. Something that you can play here as well is the Upstart King Rex that has a similar effect and mostly plays on Gate Order similarly, in that Gate Order generally wants to be emptying their hand, and Upstart King Rex wants your opponent to have no hand in order to draw additional cards. The difference is that Performer can mill cards, which can matter for cards like Phoenix Dragon, Necromaid Nana, and some other cards that we'll talk about later on. And sometimes your Gate Order opponent may accidentally leave cards in their hand because they weren't able to empty their hand. Maybe like they didn't even need to empty their hand with something like a Secret Order turn instead of a Gate turn. So Rhythmical Performer is more geared towards countering that deck specifically. 3 Heavenly Gifts are the only piece that is level 10 here is the Dragias Burst. Still very good to be discarding that, and then maybe afterwards adding it back with the Phoenix Dragon. The other cards you can play in this slot, I feel like this one is still a fair choice, especially since you can discard the other non-level 10 pieces alongside other monsters, since all it needs to do is add up to 10, so you can go like Shock Dragon, discard Amazing Dealer, and that adds up to 10 and you can draw 2 cards. You will go -1 in card advantage, but if you're digging through your deck, that's probably a completely okay risk to have. 1 Pot of Greed, this is because if you want 5 cards, you activate Pot of Greed, you go to 6 cards, and that means that if you assemble your maximum monster in that turn, you will be able to have a 6 card hand to be able to maximum summon and then use the discard 3 effect of the right piece. So I do believe Pot is very good in this deck. There are obviously other legend cards you can play, Monster Reincarnation and Graceful Charity are all pretty good cards to choose, but Pot of Greed has some incidental synergies obviously with the Dragon's Burst and the right piece in particular, which is why I prefer this card. Now the interesting package here, the Art of Masked Fiery Noodle, drawing out a rich tasty flavor reversal. This card is very interesting. It benefits off of you having paranormal monsters in your grave that you can discard cards and then draw cards equal to the up to the number of paranormal monsters in your grave. So if you have 3, you can send 1 through 3 pyro monsters. 1 to 3 cards from your hand, and then draw up to the number of cards you send. So you will draw, let's say you send 2 cards, then you'll draw 2 cards. But if you have a face-up pyro type normal monster on your field, you can draw an additional card. So if you have something like a die-up on the field, then you can discard 2, draw 3 basically. So this will normally get you card neutral in advantage, because you will discard assuming you have the paranormal monster on the field already, you will be able to just cycle through your deck and go ±0 in card advantage. And as for the pyro monsters we are playing the 1 of Die-Up, the 3 of Jarmalewe, 3 of Taste Spectre, 1 of Stalk the Noodle Ninja. I'm playing the more aggressive started pyro monsters, and that is because sometimes you will have to clear threats off the board. And the smaller threats, you can use these attackers to clear off. And it does play, well, arguably not really plays into media charge that well. But if they do plan to flip any of these up, they do have some sizable attack. But if they do pierce into it, then you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Now you can obviously play stuff like that's more defensive, like the Cosmos Scallion and other higher defense started vanilla pyros. But sometimes you will also want to just get in for a small bit of damage to help your Dragias Burst kill easier. And these pyro monsters with better aggressive stats are better for that purpose. And also you will be summoning these face up a lot of the time because you want to get the extra draw of a Deeply Reversal. And leaving something that has 1500 attack is obviously more exciting than and more less risk. You will have less risk than something like normal summon a 400 attack pyro monster in attack position. Like that is definitely certainly a lot safer of a play. Now, and Magma Bear is something that you can play over the Rhythmical Performer. Similar to the Performer, it is a good Necromaid Nana target, and it is basically a guaranteed +1. Like, it's a lot more easier to secure this than the Rhythmical Performer in terms of getting cards to your hand. The only thing about this is that it doesn't give you potential maximum pieces, it only adds normal monsters to your hand. And that is good for things like Reversal, but I do favor the ability to draw into our deck more than just fetching cards from our grave that aren't the maximum pieces specifically. Future Mining is something that can play over the Heavenly Gifts. Heavenly Gifts obviously is a bit more restrictive in that there's only one good target for it, and otherwise you will have to go neg for it. And Future Mining is generally going to be ±0, but sometimes you will whiff and then you will find nothing and go -1 for nothing, which will obviously be sad. But generally this is a pretty decent card. Reason why I'm not on it, and the other reason why we're not on cards like Card Reprint and 7th Chance, is because that I would rather have something that I can use on turn 1 so that I can solitaire as fast as possible to get our maximum pieces as fast as possible on the earliest turn possible, basically. Speaking of the Card Reprint I actually think is pretty strong in this deck. But again, I want the more, I just prefer spells in this deck compared to traps. Card Reprint allows you to get a 6-card hand, similar to the Pot of Greed, and allows you to facilitate having the maximum summon plus discard 3 effect on the same turn. 7th Chance is more gimmicky, but you can play it with the Card Reprint, it's just a bit more high roll. Most of this effect doesn't matter, so you can proc it if you get lucky. When your opponents level 7 or higher monsters declares an attack, you can draw 3 cards and show them. Then if 2 or more level 7s among them, gain life points equal to the number of level 7s revealed times 1500. So you can in theory gain a lot of life points, but you shouldn't expect that to happen very often. What this will be here for is just to draw 3 cards. And that's good if you have, let's say, at least 2 cards in your hand before you activate 7th Chance to be able to make this be Jar of Greed, basically. And if you manage to get the combination of Card Reprint and the 7th Chance, you can draw a lot of cards in a given turn. Now that we've gone over the contents of the deck, let's head on over to the gameplay. Alright, good luck, have fun to our opponent. We win the die roll this time, let's go. And our hand is very interesting. Ooh, very interesting indeed. I will try to go ham here. Heavily give discarding Dragias Burst here. Drawing 2 cards. And allows us to go into this right piece, which we will discard here. I do want to get some cards to discard and just shuffle back into the grave for the Necromaid Nana here. We'll perform and we see what we hit. We hit nothing. We do hit a die up, which is much more appealing to send back to the deck than the right piece right now. Die up, draw 2. And now we will have to decide what we want to do from here. I think I just want to set my cards here. I'll set Phoenix Dragon. I just want to draw a bit more cards here. I will sell draw spells and pass the turn here. We do have both of the pieces in rotation if we want to add either one with a extra copy of Phoenix Dragon. We're just setting this to make sure we don't take too much damage on the following turn. Magical Stream here, ideally hitting the Heavenly Gift. Sure. For Reversal, we at least have 1 Pyro after this Jarmalewe dies. So it's not completely terrible. Discarding Mage, draw 1. Hopefully they draw anything to tribute over these. They managed to find another amnesty for this. That means that we won't take that much damage though. Tributing for the Dragias. The worst one. Any other one would have been fine, but specifically Dragias means that he can clear both of our monsters. And that means the Phoenix Dragon is guaranteed to die. Unfortunate, but what can you do? Our cards die here, we remain untouched, and we can now hopefully draw more cards here. Very interesting. Yeah, we have to do this here, just so that we don't take too much damage anyway. We gotta dig through the deck and find stuff. Necromaid Nana, we have to send the Dragias burst piece now. And then we'll draw 2 cards. Okay, we just sent one into the bot deck here, so we're gonna discard the left piece now. And then we're gonna draw more cards. We drew into it again, and we drew into it again. Lovely. Heavenly Gift, we'll discard the left piece and the right piece to draw 2 cards here. We do have the normal engrave already, but don't think that really does much. We're gonna tribute summon it. We're gonna tribute summon the Necromaid Nana using the stock that we just drew. And then we will save this Flavor Reversal for a more eventful turn. Or we can top deck the pieces, maybe we can get lucky as well. Set 2, pass. If we are 1 piece away, 1 Phoenix Dragon away, we should be fine. And there is a possibility that he'll decay me, but he doesn't have the 7th Magician on board right now. And I'm gonna take my chances. Especially with 2 max pieces in hand already. Magical Stream, that's very annoying at this stage in the game. Killing my ship is fine. Could be a lot worse. They do have the Magician. I wonder if they can bait themselves into Fusion Summoning 7's gear system and manage to find Fusion. They didn't manage to find it. Oh well. So they can attack for 5,500 damage, and we have to hope and pray that we manage to find a maximum piece, specifically the left piece, to be able to maximum summon. And we are too low of life points to even risk doing a multi-attack. Just clear both of these to make sure we don't get 7's gears. We found the Attack Spectre very strong here. We can go Flavor Reversal to discard this Amazing Dealer here and draw some cards. So draw 2 of this. And we can draw more out here, discarding both of the Jarmas. And drawing more cards. Shock Dragon doesn't actually do anything, I don't think. Well, Performer needs to come in huge clutch here, otherwise we don't get to do anything. Nope, okay. So what are we doing now? If we set, then we just get ran over by Dragias, so we are forced to go with Tribute Summon Shock Dragon and activate the effect to debuff the Dragias. Of course, the left piece that we need is milled off the top by Shock Dragon. 1 card away, of course. We will use the Shock Dragon to attack the Dragias. And just hope that we don't die. If they do find Dragias, we just die regardless. So like, whatever. Yeah, we lose. Alright, we'll let him play him out. Maybe he has Fusion and that'll be incredibly funny way to go out. Yeah, so this is just the flaws of playing a max stack. Sometimes you get unlucky and you don't find all the pieces. And admittedly we did go extremely ham. Turn 1, maybe that wasn't exactly the correct play. But I think it was fine. Just dig through the deck because my hand was not particularly strong there. And once this Dragias connects to our set monster and the 7th Magician swings directly, that will be the end of the game. Alright, we're back at it with the second. Oh wow, this hand is terrible. We have the Amazing Dealer here. And I'm thinking I'm discarding Dragias bursts here. No, we'll have to discard the Flavor Reversals. Let's not get greedy here. Okay, we will set all our spells and pass the turn. And hope that we draw better. Nothing particularly interesting here. Tribute Witch means that hopefully they don't have the Magician in hand because that'd be really spooky. 2 cards in hand, alright, that's good for us. Playing around Cyclip Tron, I suppose. Attacking, yeah, this is still correct. It misses all 100 damage for 100 damage. Is negligible, to say the least. We won't be taking much damage here, but we still need to find our max pieces to even win the game. Very interesting. We'll go ship, discarding the Shock Dragon and drawing 2 cards here. Phoenix Dragon. We will use the set Heavenly Gifts. We'll discard the middle piece, and that's because we can add it back with the Phoenix Dragon that we just drew. Pot of Greed, let's go. Let's draw 2 cards here. Okay. We will tribute summon, activate Phoenix Dragon effect. We'll discard. We don't need this many Heavenly Gifts. We'll discard it and add the Dragias Burst here. And we'll tribute over the Phoenix Dragon for the Necromaid Nana and activate Necromaid Nana's effect to shuffle the Shock Dragon, draw 2 cards. And we do manage to find the maximum here. Let's go ahead and maximum summon right now. Now we definitely don't have lethal here, but we will still use the gain 1000 effect to discard the Necromaid Nana, the Jarmalewe, and the second copy of Nana, set our spells here, and prep for a emergency second maximum if we need to go that far. Killing the witch, obviously this is optimal here. Means that they have lesser chance of being able to go into the Master of Seven Road, which will be a very problematic card if they get to that. And if they want to live, they can't set another monster, cause then I just use the multi-attack and the piercing 2 would just blow through everything. So they are in a very precarious position if they don't manage to find an out to my Dragias Burst. Okay, they're just gonna surrender, GG's. And now we're on game 3 with a very interesting hand, Amazing Dealer, Ship, and a level 7. And also a Pyro monster. This is about as good as I could have hoped. They're gonna go Amazing Dealer here, pitching the Mage, draw 1, digging through the deck, just finding good cards. Seems like they didn't find anything particularly strong here, and they're just gonna maybe set 3. Set 3 pass. Set 3, Mystic Dealer, and a set monster. Completely okay. We're gonna go Ship of 7 Treasures. We will discard this right piece, draw 2 cards. This is a thinker. I think I'll discard the rough one. I'll discard the I'll definitely discard the Pyro monsters. The question is whether I discard the Nana or the middle piece. The Nana can help me draw more, but do I need to draw more? I'll prioritize guaranteeing the maximum piece in hand. Well, we are rewarded by drawing the Nana anyway. Did not matter. Just too good at this game. Nana will put the max piece back into the deck, draw 2 cards. And well, we just put it back into the deck. Okay. We will just tribute summon this die up that we happen to draw into, and then we'll get in for some extra damage here. Now if he draws Dragias, that means that he has to also find the mage alongside it to be able to out this die up, and can help us buy some time before we find our maximum monster. It's gonna be a bit harder because one of the pieces that we need is on the bottom of the deck, which means we have to find one of the remaining 2 pieces that we need to find in order to get the maximum summon off. They have Whispering Fairy here, which is a good card here. They can shuffle my Pyros back in. They just discarded a second copy of Missing Dealer. Their hand is probably pretty good already. They'll just shuffle both Altasis Spectres in the grave, understandable. Not much to really talk about here. I think the 1 Pyro that I have is enough though. Which they probably have the Magician then, yep. Discarding a card, the Spot Cards go for the 7th Row Magician, and they have, I believe, 4 attributes. Maybe a 5th one if you get lucky. Nope, just the 4, which is already good enough, beats over the die up completely well. I'm taking a fair bit of damage here, but no Dragias means that we are in a fine position. Means we can just set our cards and just hope and pray. Well, we don't need to set cards if we just draw into it. We'll set the Jarmalewe to get rid of it from our hand, and we'll special summon the almighty, great multi-strike dragon, Dragias. and we literally can't do anything. We have no effects we can activate. We'll attack into the 7th room Magician. Lower chance to make 7's gears, but they still have the Witch on board, which is kind of precarious. Means that they can cheat out the Magician and maybe even go into a fusion of Master of Central if they get lucky enough. Magical Stream full of Flame Reversal is annoying, to say the least, honestly. Would have been nice to keep around that Flame Reversal in case our maximum monster gets destroyed here. But that's a matter of whether the maximum monster even gets destroyed in the first place. And it might not even get to that stage. Seeing as they're just setting 1 right now. Again, same situation as before. If they set more monsters, then they will be at the full force of might. They're just gonna concede. Sometimes Dragias Burst is a good enough card. Yo, well here, this isn't live because, originally I had recorded this live, but then my mic stopped working at that time, so now we're just watching the replay instead of reacting to stuff live. At least like this is a good opportunity for me to try a different approach to recording these videos and just like talking about replays instead of doing live gameplay. At least gives me some more breathing room in terms of how I want to talk about the games. Firstly, we can talk about the opening hands. Obviously, I drew Pot of Greed, I drew one of the max pieces, I drew Necromaid Nana and Phoenix Dragon. This is a very good start for just in general, just a very good start. Definitely interesting to see how this hand develops into future hands. Opponent seems like he's playing Thunderbolt. He has 1 Thunderbolt in hand. Amazing Needler is pretty strong here, and 2 gem sets with currently no candies. Gem sets are pretty bad in this matchup, but he doesn't know that yet. Let's look at the plays here. They will go first. They'll Amazing Needler here. Discarding both the gem sets. That's correct. Well, I mean, that's like less risky, I guess, because you discard spells and then potentially you can tribute someone with the Thunderbolt. That proves to be the wrong play in retrospect, but I think I would have tried to do the same thing as well, but this is the first match, so I wouldn't know the matchup. So I think keeping the gem set would have been better. It would have been better in hindsight, but like both plays are like fine. They're playing Heavenly Gift, so they can pitch both of these to draw more cards, and they do manage to find something. They went Heavenly Gift twice. I think this is wrong. They should have gone Rhythmical Performer, see what we get. It doesn't matter, they just tribute someone for the Tough Striker and then they keep the Heavenly Gift. I think that is a lot safer of a play. If they did go it, they wouldn't be able to hit the mill, but they wouldn't have gotten a draw, but that's fine. I would have still just sat on Tough Striker pass. I think that's more respectable than trying to risk it. And especially here, they are only going down to they're going down to 3 cards, and that becomes very low. There's like increasingly lower chance to find something to tribute over the Amazing Dealer. So in most other matchups like Gate Order, they are putting themselves in a very precarious position. And obviously, it doesn't pay off. They draw double candy and just pass turn. This gives me more time to set up and do my Sword Attack combos. We activate Pot of Greed, nothing else to do here. Draw into Amazing Dealer here. And here I just discard. So I discarded the max piece because I can retrieve it if I need it off the Phoenix Dragon. I discarded the die up because I need the level 7 for the Necromaid Nana. I discarded the Heavenly Gift because it is not Phoenix Dragon. I do really want to keep the Phoenix Dragon because I am planning to discard this red piece here. And I don't really have any particularly strong targets at the moment to discard off the Heavenly Gift, which is why I discarded it off the Amazing Dealer here. Now we just tribute the Amazing Dealer for the Necromaid Nana, the aforementioned synergy here, shuffling the die up back, drawing 2 cards into nothing particularly interesting here. So what we decide to do is we are going to gamble with the Rhythmical Performer. I note that we are playing against Thunderbolt here, so I'm completely fine just leaving stuff out in open as long as I don't give them combo. We whiff, and we mill the middle piece. That means that if that's another target for Phoenix Dragon. If we get to that position, we just set 2 pass to just draw more cards. We don't attack into this Amazing Dealer here. In retrospect, I started attacking into one of these set monsters. Just to see if I can accidentally kill something, but the thought behind this was I didn't want to attack into the Amazing Dealer here and give them lower life points to get the free loops on my 2 set monsters. Which is why I didn't want to do that. Now, currently in the grave is 3 level 7s. One of them is Thunderbolt, and if he wants to Sensor Duckbill it out, that means that he would have to draw another 2 tribute monster, which is, I guess, a reason why I would keep the entire board here. But I think it's very easy for this deck to draw 2 tribute monsters, so in retrospect it was the wrong play. But in any case, if they do want to use Sensor Duckbill to get into Thunderbolt, they would need to find 2 other level 7s to be able to get the job done. We'll see what they draw here. They draw a very interesting hand. They ship discarding the Acebreaker, that is the duplicate name. That is the extra name for 4 names, but they currently do not have a way to get to Thunderbolt here, and you will notice they are running 3 copies of Melody, which is very atypical. Normally people settle on just 2 because Thunderbolt needs multiple names to work, and running more and more melodies means that you have a lower chance of proccing Thunderbolt early. Running 3 is a very interesting gambit, allows them to have the highest chance to reach the combo pieces, but a lower chance to reach Thunderbolt's activation cost. And here, they're basically going to try to gamble with the Thunderbolt, which is what I thought would happen. What I would have done is I would have just tributed over the Sensor Duckbill, activate Thunderbolt, see what you get here, which would be nothing, and then you bounce the Thunderbolt back, and then you activate Secret Order to get the card out here. But they just pass on this, which is also fine, I guess. This allows them to, well, now they know that we are on Dragon Max, so at least keeping the Thunderbolt means that they have a higher chance of reaching the Acebreaker later into the game, in case I manage to assemble the maximum monster, so that's defendable. But like both ways to like kind of work. Obviously if they went Secret Order, they would have dealt more damage, which could matter because we are playing a max deck and we do want to buy as much time as possible, and taking damage means that we have less time to prepare. They do kill our Performer, leaving our normal monster, the Spectre, in there in case we do manage to top deck the Flea Reversal. Now currently we do have 0 normal monsters. Yep. So we Phoenix Dragon here, and we're discarding one of the normals for our blue piece. It's arbitrary which one we get. We choose the blue piece because in case we draw Heavenly Gift, all the Ship of 7 Treasures, we have targets for either one of those to discard. And we had to do that because we needed a normal ingredient for the Flea Reversal. So we go TS Inspector, flip, and then discard for the Flea Reversal, and then we draw into the Shock Dragon, which we do have the material to activate. We choose not to risk it, and we just try to kill the Melody instead, because currently we know that there are a lot of duplicate names, and they'll still have 3 names after this is all said and done, because they're playing 3 Melody instead of 2 and 1 other random card. And if we do set, they just bounce it back with Melody, so it's just easier to get rid of the card now and hope that they don't find the 4th name of the Thunderbolt. It was like a mostly lose-lose situation, but as you will see in a moment, it did manage to pay off. They have to shift to discarding Thunderbolt. They don't really have much else to do here. They do manage to tribute summon Meek-chan and then Secret Order the Top Striker out, setting Howling Bird. And they choose not to attack, which is very odd. I'm not sure why they didn't attack. There was nothing that prevented them from doing that. I think what happened is that they were trying to play into the Thunderbolt Melody loop too much. Like I think they were going like they wanted their life points to be lower than mine. But you absolutely don't need the Thunderbolt Melody loop to win all your games. Simply just activating Secret Order or like Thunderbolt for tempo, and you just punch them. Like Thunderbolt can still do damage without the Melody loop. It's not a necessary part of the playing the deck, but it is definitely a very strong part of the deck. Not something you should absolutely tunnel vision on, which is what I think is happening right here. And as we see this play force them to lose the game, we get to Shock Dragon, debuffing both of the Gate Order, these 2 level 7s here. They have the same attack, so they will both get debuffed by 16 here. This is why I really like Shock Dragon in this format, against cards like Top Striker, Meek-chan, and like Gate Order in particular. They have a lot of cards that have the same attack, and they can all get debuffed and can do a lot of damage that way. We tribute over the Shock Dragon for the Necromaid Nana, draw more cards. We send the Shock Dragon because we have nothing else to send, I believe. Yeah, we have nothing else to send, so we just send the Shock Dragon, which is unfortunate that we have to send that specifically. because ideally you would keep it in case you draw Phoenix Dragon and you don't have the way to find the last remaining piece here. We draw into the Taste Spectre, which is very good. This allows us to start using our flavor reversals and not go negative card advantage. We use Share of 7 Treasures first because we have the level 7 already. We can discard a die up for the effect. And we draw into a Heavenly Gift for our duplicate middle piece here. And again, we go into the flavor reversal. We are discarding all 3 here, and the reason is I don't think that I will have the capability of finding another blue piece. The only way I can retrieve my blue piece is if I draw the last remaining one or I find the Phoenix Dragon, and I would rather use the Phoenix Dragon to find a green piece if I can help it. So I ended up going for the flavor reversal, discarding the Heavenly Gift there, as I wasn't guaranteed in finding a duplicate middle piece. We do manage to find the entire maximum here, and this is what's strong about the deck. You can discard 3 here, so we can pierce over the set monster, and then the multi-attack can attack into every single one of these, which is absolutely lethal here. That is a 45 over this and this. Now, even if I didn't have the piercing, even if it just gained 1000 attack and didn't get piercing, I could just attack into these two and just win the game that way. No, I needed piercing. That would be 45 minus 936 times 2. No, that would be still be lethal, yeah. So that is one of the ways that I can easily kill. And this is the second game. I didn't notice that my opponent's hand, if the ship of soldiers won here, if the ship won here, then their hand would be terrible. Mine is like terrible regardless. I'd have to like top deck really well. So they discard the Milky Wave Neo, or they discard the Ace Breaker. I would have just discarded the Milky Wave Neo here, but I guess it works both ways. They Secret Order, Thunderbolt, and pass the turn. They are really focusing on getting the Melody loop here. This is correct though. This holding of the Thunderbolt is correct. Leaving this low attack card on the field allows them to take more damage and then can go through their Melody loop easier. We draw for turn, nothing good. We draw another max piece, which means that we have to pass. This is one of the weaknesses of the deck. Yes, because we're running a lot of high levels, we have the capability of breaking out like this. They draw very well. I will say, if we manage to find the max piece, if we manage to assemble the entire max, we have the capability of just ending the game there. But it was definitely a slim chance with drawing only one card, and yeah, it resulted in this. Nothing much particularly interesting happens here. They milled. I just realized they milled the piece I actually need. Yeah, you know, at the very least, it's like a level 7 for Necromaid Nana to shuffle into the deck. They get a Melody out, they don't OTK, but they still leave me with only 500 life left, which means that I don't really have much to do here, and we draw another left piece. And that will wrap it up. We have nothing else to do here. Sometimes you will open poorly like this, and that will be very unfortunate games here, but well, sometimes it just happens. And now we are starting first because we lost. This obviously we're already starting with 2 maximum pieces and normal monsters, so this is pretty good here. But we do end up finding the max piece, and this is one of the strengths of playing max decks in general. They have the capability of being very sacky, and sometimes you just make the maximum monster. Now I send the Taste Inspector to the grave here by setting it first before I maximum summon, and that is because I just want to draw more cards. I just have a higher chance of falling back on making the maximum a second time should they find something like an Ace Breaker to out the maximum monster. We just set and pass here. This does play into Judgment, but Thunderbolt doesn't generally play cards like Judgment that is reserved for Gate Order, so I'm very confident in leaving my hand empty here. They draw poorly. They have the Heavenly Gift, discarding their Thunderbolt, their Ace Breaker and Torero, and then they have to do it again to discard the Duel and the Thunderbolt, and then they're Secret Ordering for tempo here, and just to make sure they don't like take too much damage, they just put the Thought Striker in attack because I'm piercing anyway, and they set their jump set. Now not much to do here. We just discard 3 swing. We keep this spell here just to draw more cards. Again, in case we lose the maximum monster, we have a higher chance of reassembling the maximum with our set spells here. And they do draw into the pick here, which is very strong for them. And they do manage to hit it. They don't really have many targets for an engrave, however, they just add the Howling Bird here. They tribute summon Milky Wave Neo and then tribute summon Thunderbolt. And that does put them at 4 names engraved. However, nothing engraved currently deals with the Dragon's Burst here. And if they were playing Shock Dragon, they have a very slim chance of hitting the Shock Dragon and killing Dragon's Burst that way, but as I learned later on, they are literally not on it. Like, personally, I will be on 1 Shock Dragon over 3 Melody. Like, 2 Melody, 1 Shock Dragon is a lot safer than running 3 Melody, and allows you to have a failsafe in case of not being able to play normally. And something interesting like Ace Breaker over the Thunderbolt, not Thunderbolt, over the Shock Dragon. Like, yes, Ace Breaker can discard your cards and like, potentially set up your grave for level 7s that way, but I think like Shock Dragon is just a lot less costly and means that you can weave it into your combos a lot easier. But whatever the case, they just Thunderbolt, they don't get anything particularly interesting. They get Ace Breaker, but without any monsters to discard for its effects, and they just pass a turn here. And at this point, not much to do here. We just activate the effect with discard 3 here, and we choose to use the multi-attack effect here, because I'm rather confident that I can kill from here, since even with this set monster not being here, let's say we just focus on the Ace Breaker and the Thunderbolt here. The Dragon's Burst, after discarding 3 with the multi-attack, attacking into the Ace Breaker is 2000 damage, and then attacking into the Thunderbolt is 2200 damage, which adds up to 4200 damage. And that means that they have 1300 life points remaining and have a 4500 attack monster to go with Piercing. Which means they need to have like a 3200 defense monster in order to stop this, and no tribute monsters absolutely cannot have such high defense. So this is a guaranteed lethal for the most part, unless they have some trap that I've never heard of. And that would be game here because of that. That is the strength of Dragias Burst in the right situations. Obviously they didn't really draw particularly well there, and we did top deck Dragias turn 1. But that just goes to show just how good Dragias Burst is when it gets the ball rolling. And those were the games. Let me know how you feel about the impromptu change in format for one of those matches that we showed earlier on. If you liked the that format, then I'd be willing to try that out in future videos for the channel. Anyway, back to the deck. As you can see, the deck was very explosive when it wanted to be, and very bricky when it wanted to be. It's like definitely just like very inconsistent in what it's in how fast it wants to give you the game. And sometimes you can just win out of nowhere, just really have an extremely explosive turn, draw through like half your deck, maximum summon, discard 3, kill the entire board, deal 9000 damage or something. Sometimes you just open all your high levels in hand. That's just rush tools, baby. But yeah, the Pyro engine is very good. One of the best draw spells in the deck and in the game in general, and this deck really shows off the strength of the Pyro package, and just in general, just the strength of playing 10 different draw spells alongside additional 9 draw cards in monster form. So yeah, this is one of the maximum decks I had the most fun with, playing around with maximums. And if you would like a maximum deck that is explosive, you can definitely take this for a spin yourself. In any case, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.